can watch us. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. Now, if you're looking for a fitness goal for the new year, we got you one. Joining us is Ben McDonald. He's the special events coordinator with the Ridgeland Recreation and Parks, and he's got the Natchez Trace Century Ride coming up not soon, but soon enough to put it on your calendar.
Right. Like you said, we want people to set that goal. I'm not a New Year's resolution kind of person, but with something like this, it's good to put something on your calendar, set a goal, whether you want to ride 8 miles or 100.
Now's the time to think about it.
Now's the time to think. Of course, you need a bike.
Yeah,
so get a bike.
It's a good thing you thought of it this year, Ben, to come a little earlier, because normally it's like a week or two out, and it's like, well, if that sounds like fun, but you haven't dusted off your bike in a while, you may not feel like you're up for it within, a weekend or two. So now you've got what? I'm sure you have some countdown going. Do you know how many weeks, or I know months
I'd have
till
to do
May?
the math in my head real quick.
No, we're not doing that. It's a Monday on good things, but you at least got 4 good months to get some training in before it.
Right, yeah, May 3rd, first Saturday in May. That's when it always is. This will be our 26th year.
Wow.
So we still are trying to improve and make some changes and keep what has been working really well and what the riders like. But like you said, you need a little time to plan, especially if you're going to get a hotel reservation, if you're coming from not just in the Tri-County area, from the coast or Tupelo or DeSoto County, something like that. You need to plan a little bit and make sure your bike's tuned up and make sure your legs are tuned up and ready to pedal and all that.
Or if you're looking for that, first big event for you to sort of test your biking skills, this could be a good one. I know this will be your second Natchez Trace Century Ride to coordinate, correct, Ben?
That's right.
What has been working over the last 2 decades? I know you haven't been to all of them. I do think you've ridden. Have you ridden in a few?
I've ridden in a few.
That's just an athlete, yeah.
Obviously, it's very different when you're on the other side of it, but it does help when you've ridden in an event or run an event or a concert, whatever it is, and you plan it because you know what people like to see. And I think what's worked, one is the Natchez Trace. They're very cooperative and helpful to let us have this event, and it is a designated bike parkway. However, we have close to 1,000 riders sometimes, so it can put a strain on law enforcement, and we coordinate with our Ridgeland PD, Rankin County, Madison County, Reservoir Patrol, Natchez Trace Park Rangers. So to me, that's probably the biggest thing because, if it's not okay with them, we're not going to have it. So we appreciate them coordinating and letting us have it on the trace.
What's the average speed of a semi-good bike rider, miles per hour?
I mean, on a road bike, 15 to 17 miles an hour.
So they're not going to get a ticket on the Natchez Parkway.
I mean...
I was just sitting here thinking, man, I wonder if they actually got. It's been a minute since I've been.
There are rules to follow, but it wouldn't be a speeding ticket.
It would be a speeding ticket, even though it's so low on the Natchez. So the Natchez Trace isn't that low of a speed.
No.
Limit
Now, part of the ride is on the multi-use trail, and we want riders to, kind of slow down a little bit because the roads and the trails are open on that day to other riders and runners and walkers and that sort of thing. But we have riders come from. I know we've had riders already signing up from Pennsylvania, Oregon, I think Minnesota, and it's still early, so we'll have most states will be represented. I don't know about all of them. I don't know if we'll get Alaska and Hawaii, but we'll get most states coming, and they love the food here. Of course, Ridgeland is known for restaurants and hotels, and obviously coming to do the bike ride, and we'll have a lot of live music. Our theme is Tunes on the Trace. So we'll have some live music at Packet Pickup that Friday, which is May the 2nd over. We were talking about our tourism partners, Explore Ridgeland. And we'll have some live music after the event and probably out on the course as well. So,
what is it sometimes when you hear people from all 50 states, or I guess 48 of them, are going to head this way, it's a little intimidating. Is it because the course is just that beautiful or fun and festive, or is it because it's that tough and challenging, or kind of all of the above?
It's not a tough course per se. I mean, in May, as well as I do, it could be warmer, but generally early May is pretty nice around here. You might get a little spring shower, which midway through the ride might be a nice thing. But the course is not very hard. I mean, there are some rolling hills. And, of course, if you do 100 miles and you've never done 100, 100 miles is tough just about any time. It's 100 miles. But
100 miles in a car can stink.
Yeah, that's right. As long as you got some good music along the way. But I think it's the scenery. And I tell my wife this all the time. I drive across the reservoir to work. We have trails, where we live in Ridgeland, we have trails. Along the Natchez Trace, we have trails. So I think some people don't get what we have around here. They don't have that where they're from. And then the Natchez Trace, sometimes we take it for granted that it's right here in Ridgeland going through our state. For the most part, it's almost all of Mississippi. But a lot of people come from other states to ride on the Natchez Trace, a national parkway. It's owned by the National Park Service. And you don't get the commercial traffic. You don't have to worry about big 18-wheelers. And, there is traffic, obviously, but it's a pretty peaceful ride. You have the reservoir. You have the trees.
1,000 other riders of your best friends.
Maybe 1,000 riders.
Is that the average, Ben, participants?
Probably 850 to 900. That's probably average. We close it at 1,000 just because it can't be so big with the Natchez Trace. We want to respect them and their help and not overwhelm, because we know they probably get calls from people saying, wow, all these riders on the Trace, but they've been great to help us out. So yeah, it's usually 900-ish, somewhere in there.
If you're listening to good things, Ben, and maybe you got a new bike for Christmas, or you've just got into fitness again, is this enough time to is this plenty of time for you, for like an average person, to be able to at least complete?
Oh yeah, well, there's an 8-miler, so you have an 8, a 25, 50, 62, and 100. So,
oh wow, there's lots of options.
Oh yeah, 5 different distances.
Okay, say them again.
So you can start out with an 8-miler, 25, 50, 62, or 100 miles. So 100 is the true century, 100 is a century. But then also we have the 62-miler, which is considered a metric century because that's 100 kilometers or 100K. But yeah, you definitely have plenty of time. And 8 miles, just about anybody could do that. You want to, of course, make sure your bike's in good shape. Go by the bike crossing is one of our great partners in Ridgeland. They can, if you have any issues, they can tune it up for you. But yeah, definitely plenty of time to sign up and do whatever distance you want. You want to be ready. You don't want to just get out there and be miserable, but challenge yourself, push yourself, and have a good time. Invite some friends. It's fun when you invite a group of friends and maybe you train together, or text each other, hey, we riding this weekend, that sort of thing.
Could you and your tween or teen kids at least do the 8 or 25 together?
Yeah, I think I talked to...
Although kids in the 80s would ride 100 miles in a weekend,
Yeah, it's on
backyards.
One of those banana seat bikes, right?
Yeah.
But definitely, that's the cool thing. We have riding clubs, families, different generations. Like I said, it's been going on. This is our 26th year, so it's kind of getting passed down. But we have people that have done just about every one. But yeah, definitely the 8-miler, 25, or if you want to do the family ride and do the 100, that'd be awesome too.
Can you pass the baton? Can you I do 25, Dad does 25, Nana does 25.
I don't.
I didn't mean to throw you for a loop.
I don't think so. I guess maybe
where do you go for the 50? Like if you're going for the 100 miles, where's the down and back? Do you go down 50 miles and back?
Well, the 62-miler and the 100-miler, they'll start at 7 o'clock that morning, and they'll go out of Old Trace Park, which is at the reservoir in Ridgeland, and it'll go across the spillway into Rankin County, and it'll take 471 and Highway 43 across the reservoir, and then it'll take anyway, I won't get into the whole route, but it's a big loop sort of, and then the 25 and 50 will do an out and back on the Trace, and the 8-mile is kind of a loop that leaves from Old Trace Park and comes back at Overlook, so it's a smaller loop, obviously, but you get to see a pretty good
chunk of it,
and a pretty good variation of wildlife and trees, and by that time the alligators.
Go sign up and see all the things. Where can we do that?
You said
it's early, but
you can go to ridgelandms.org, and you can click on events and scroll down. It has a calendar of our events starting with, I guess, our Valentine's event, but scroll down to May and you'll see the Natchez Trace Century Ride. It has a link where you can sign up, go to our registration page, and it also has information on how you can get in touch with us to get more information if it's not on the registration page or the events page.
And you can see all of the routes and things there as well.
The routes are all posted. You can upload them to your computer if you have one that's compatible, like a Garmin device. You can see the medal you'll get when you finish.
Because that's important.
That's right. Yeah, locally designed metal tunes on the Trace.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got like 4 months for the Natchez Trace
Sign up.
Century Ride.
Yeah,
So
come ride
sign
with
up.
us.
And if you sign up because you heard it here and made it a goal, we want to hear about that. So I'd love to support you. So, all right, you guys stick with us, though. We got more for you coming up next.